Acceleration Partners is now 14 years old. I think we are right at about 200 people globally, and we are a global partner and affiliate marketing agency. So we help a lot of large, medium, fast-growing brands build and grow their affiliate and partner programs. I would want to be coached by people that did it, not people that failed and then became coaches. So that's very important to me. I think the world of coaching is filled with a lot of people who look. There's some good coaches but I want people that have done it and know what they're talking about and are speaking not just from theory, but from experience. And I think that goes to the different type of coaches, the ones that want to understand your business, and then the ones that can just work with you sort of personally. And so for me, the really unique thing from Freescale was before Freescale, we had people who worked on our quarterly meetings and were good at facilitating those meetings, but they didn't need the context on our business. There were people that sort of coached us individually. Then there were people kind of subject matters or that we were focused on aspects of our business. I think Freescale's very unique model is just bringing that all together. I mean, when we started, I think Rich and Wayne got to understand our business as much as like a prospective investor would. They wanted to understand the context. They'd understand the people, but the business. So that continuity between the offsites, coming every time, having the coaching in between, know what's going on in the business. They're just very part of the pulse of the business. It is possible to be a good coach without doing that. But to me, that's just the real difference of the Freescale model. It's interesting. So initially, when we said we were going to go from 1 day offsites, 2 day offsites, I think there was a lot of moaning. But now I don't know how anyone thinks we could do that in 1 day, what we used to do, because we're really stepping up to a level to work on the business. So our team's worked with a lot of coaches. They have high expectations. And I think they've really appreciated the process, appreciated the thoroughness, and they're fully on board. And it's hard to get them fully on board for anything. I think both the structure of the offsites and the strategic planning and the sort of coaching one-on-one in between. And when we're talking about something and we can't agree or we're not sure, it's like, well, go ask Wayne or Rich. I'm sure they'll know. So I have worked with a lot of vendors over the years, and this isn't even professionally, this is personally, where their onboarding program is so exhausting and they ask you all of these things and you give them all this stuff and then you don't feel like they use any of it. And I think Rich and Wayne have always asked us for a lot, but I think they read it all, they use it all, they do it all. And that's something I appreciate, because I think sometimes people think a thorough onboarding just makes a good impression. It actually makes a very poor impression on me when I don't see how how my 40 hours of time that I put into it were used. So I really do see that, like, the more context we're able to provide, I think Rich and Wayne really develop deep insights about the business, where again, they're oscillating between facilitating a retreat to a coach to kind of a board member and advisor, and are able to help play those different roles. I look at the ROI well, it's on a functional level. If you're trying to look at the financials of your business, you can always back that stuff out. So for people who are focused on that, window dressing because they're trying to sell the business or get investment, that's just an important mechanical thing. But I've always looked at it in the same way when you think about, like, when we're talking about an employee, and I think these things are pretty binary, right? You either they're either not that good, and whether you pay them $20,000 more is irrelevant, or they're so good that they create millions of dollars of value for your business, and you can't believe you ever hemmed and hawed over the extra $20,000. So I really think that's the scene here, right? If you're locked in, if you're doing this program at the size of businesses that I know that Freescale engages is, and you can't, with that management time focused on that, create a value that's a 10x or otherwise, then something's not working. So if it's working, you should be playing at a level where the ROI isn't even a question. And if it's not working, then you probably wouldn't see any ROI in any case, like if all your team is not on board or otherwise. So I think for high performing organizations that want to grow, that are growing quickly, that are at that size, it'd be very hard. I mean, we don't even try to measure it. We're at an interesting point where we've brought on some growth investors. We're sort of resetting our horizon pretty aggressively for where we want to go. And so what I'm really excited about is kind of jumping back into that process with Freescale to figure out the team we need to get there, what we don't have that we're going to need. And what they were really great at was how do we reverse engineer that 3-year vision into a very detailed strategic and operational plan that our team can go execute on. So I hope in a year I'm looking and I see the clear plan, all the quarters mapped out about how we're going to go make that happen. If you don't have the buy-in from your team, if this is something you're forcing on people, if you don't want to change, if you want to be comfortable, if you're happy with status quo, then don't work with Rich and Wayne. And they would probably be the first people to try to chase away those businesses as well. But look, this is a passion for them. They don't need to be doing this. They've been incredibly successful. And I think the reason why they work with a small handful of businesses is they really care. They're focused on getting the right outcome. I think they know how to push appropriately into the areas of discomfort. So, if you want to grow and if you really want someone who's going to be, a true partner, then this is something you want to do. Look, there's no greater example than when COVID, hit last year. I think Rich and Wayne went to all their clients, said, whatever you need to do, you need to do. We'll keep helping you if you can't pay. We just want you to get through this time. And there's very few businesses that would have done that. And I think that this is an intensive process. It's for people who have big goals, who want to move forward. I have found consistently over the years that particularly with the quarterly offsites, that management quarterly 2-day offsites where you go and work on the business are integral to your business. And I don't think the leadership team should be running them. I don't think the CEO should be running them, because then the CEO or leader can't participate. And I believe deeply in the value of facilitation. So, everything else, if you were even discounting it, doing that for your business, if you are not doing that process for your business, you are missing out on something that most world-class high growth organizations are doing.